Welcome back. We're here to talk about Wednesday's Premier League match between Arsenal and Southampton at the Emirates. Pascal, Arsenal, a win against West Brom last time out.
Yeah, it was an okay performance. It wasn't that great, to be honest. Danny Welbeck got his first goal in a while. Great header from him and really excellent work down the left from Cazorla, who was probably their best player in the whole game. In the first half, he was really bright. Did a lot going forward, and he's so clever in and around the box, and his technical ability is fantastic. And so on the whole, it wasn't the best team performance. They ground it out in the end, but there was some positives as well. Koscielny's back. Giroud started the game. I mean, Giroud for me didn't look quite up at his best. He's quite good with his back to goal. He does decent link-up play here and there, but he needs to do better. Getting in the box. He struggled to get in the box and didn't win many headers in the box. And so there was positive signs, but a decent win, but not the best performance.
Yeah, one of the biggest talking points from that game was the banners in the crowd, wasn't it? Arsene Wenger, there was two banners asking him to leave the club, which is a bit surprising. He's been such a good servant to them. Arsenal fans have been a bit disgruntled over the years, and perhaps rightly so. They haven't been good enough in the league for a good 10 years now, since the Invincible side, really. But Wenger's done so much for the club. It was a bit of a surprise to see that, especially after the win over Dortmund in midweek, put them through to the next round of the Champions League. He has done so much for the club, and they don't need the fans to turn on him now, really. It's not going to help him, really, and I don't think he's going to get sacked. They stood by him a long time. They stood by him through worse periods than this. Hasn't been helped out with injuries next season. They're only 2 points off the top four. If they can get the top four again, I don't think they're ever going to challenge for the title this season with Chelsea as strong as they are. So those would be concerning signs that the fans are starting to turn on him a bit more.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. They're back at home at the Emirates. Obviously, those banners away from home. I think their home form has not been great in the Premier League this season. Just 2 wins they've had in the league and in the Premier League. And at the Emirates, they need to improve their home form, and they'll be welcoming Southampton, and they'll be a little bit worried about playing them because Southampton came to the Emirates earlier on in the season and knocked them out of the League Cup. And if things start to go badly, if they're down at half time and there's boos, the banners, they'll come out again. And I think they really need sort of quite a rousing performance here in front of their own fans, because although it was a win against West Brom, it wasn't the best display. So I think they need a convincing home display here to sort of take the pressure off Wenger a bit.
It'll be interesting to see which Southampton comes out as well, because beaten 3-0 by City last time out, they've been so good this season. It was hard. No one really expected them to be beaten so emphatically. It was partly because they went chasing the game and 1-0 behind, that 3-0 maybe flattered City a little bit, but they were still fairly well beaten at home. Obviously City, there's going to be easier games than that in the league, but this arguably isn't one of them. Arsenal, a good team as well, and Southampton will feel the pressure. They'll want to get back to winning ways, although they have made such a good start to the season, and they'll be delighted with where they are in the table now. They've got a tough run of fixtures coming up, and if they can't get back to winning ways sooner rather than later, they could see themselves dropping out of the top four.
Yeah, I think so. And their problem this season, even though they've had so many wins, all of those wins are coming against sides, that are below the sort of traditional big top six. Every defeat they've had, Liverpool, Spurs, Man City, are against the big teams they've played so far. And this is another big team they're playing. And you wonder, Koeman, he's done so much for this team, brought in all these new players, but you wonder if they're ready as a collective team for these big games. Have they got the bottle? Because those 3 defeats, Liverpool, Spurs and City, they're the games, if you really want to try and challenge for the top 4 like Southampton, they have got those ambitions now because they've had such a fantastic start and so many wins. But these are the types of games you have to pick up wins from. If you keep losing to the likes of Spurs, City and Arsenal, then all you're going to do is eventually, like you say, sort of drop out of the top 4 eventually, because they're not going to win every game against the likes of, say, Palace and West Brom and those sort of teams, but these are the games they have to start winning.
Do you think they can win this weekend?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think Arsenal back at home, like I said, I really think Arsenal need a convincing display, so I think they're going to nick it 2-1.
I think I'm going to back Arsenal. I wouldn't be surprised if Southampton got something out of the game, but I think Arsenal, they'll bounce back from the Wenger criticism, I think, and 3-1 I'm going for Arsenal. So both going for Arsenal victories. Thanks for watching.